To me, the most important thing that I could try and do to add value to society is create a brand that helps people. We all have different backgrounds, different stories, different struggles, but we're all just people at the end of the day, and we all make mistakes. And I love what TikTok has done to that.
Welcome back to Business Talk, the TikTok marketing podcast for business owners and entrepreneurs who want real strategies to generate leads and sales directly from TikTok. I'm your host, Austin Armstrong, and I'll be interviewing real business owners from every industry that are leveraging TikTok to grow their business. You can connect with me on TikTok at SocialtyPro. Let's jump into it. Today's guest is Gil Brozki, founder of the Patch brand. A self-starter and lover of sports, music, and adventure, Gil Brozki is a brand architect looking to better the world. For Gil, building brands in the wellness space was always going to be a part of his path, which ultimately led him to creating the Patch brand. Gil, thank you so much for joining me today, brother.
Thank you, Austin. What an incredible intro. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And just full disclaimer here for everybody, I actually love these things. I'm for the video podcast, I've got two of the Patch brands on right now. And Gil hooked me up with a couple of these a couple of weeks ago, and I have absolutely been loving them. This podcast is brought to you by the Patch brand.
Oh, thank you. I'm rocking a focus patch right now.
There we go. I got some
podcast.
I got some energy patches on myself. Gil, so anybody that hasn't heard of the brand before, can you kind of give us an overview of what the Patch brand is?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Patch brand is a brand new brand we launched about 6 months ago. My whole life, I've actually been, I don't know if you know this, Austin, but my whole life I've been allergic to gluten and dairy and a variety of other foods. So just becoming knowledgeable about the vitamin supplement space has become a part of my life for 20 years. Not that I thought that my future would be this, but I've always been researching and always trying to find the next best thing to, consume vitamins, that all the different foods that I've been missing out in my life. And, over the past 15 years, I started researching a ton of vitamin capsules, vitamin gummies becoming the biggest new thing over the past 5 to 10 years. And I found out that gummies are actually terrible for you, full of sugar, full of calories. The food coloring can cause cancer, intestinal ulcerations, like really, really bad stuff. And then capsules on the flip side, because of the human anatomy and the way that our body passes through, vitamins, food, water, etc., in the 24-hour time span that we pass through something, capsules, we only consume 10% of a vitamin capsule. So I kept thinking to myself, there's got to be a better alternative here. And I stumbled upon the patch space, which has been around for 75 plus years with birth control patches, as well as nicotine patches. And I thought, why isn't this more prevalent in the vitamin space? And that's kind of how we got to the Patch brand.
That's amazing. So, tell me about some of these products in particular. Tell us about these products. So like I'm looking at the energy patch here, for instance, infused with caffeine, taurine, green tea, vitamins B3, B5, and B6. What's kind of the science behind how your body absorbs the vitamins through the patch, if you could, on a high level?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I started doing my research into the patch space itself, obviously I'm not a chemist or a doctor, but I needed to find a manufacturer that had chemists and doctors on staff. So I researched every single patch manufacturer in the world. Some of them were called, I called them and they're like, we only do birth control, we only do nicotine, we only do CBD. And I found this one manufacturer that was willing to work with me. And I called them up and I said, I have this idea of putting function-driven vitamins in patch form, which really hadn't been a thing yet. And they said, can you explain a little bit deeper? I said, well, for me, you go to the vitamin store and you walk the vitamin aisle and you do see a lot of these ingredients that you just said, B12, vitamin C, vitamin D. And sometimes people, and I don't blame people, I didn't know either, don't know what the benefits are of that. So I thought to myself, I said, why can't we just make it easy, 1 or 2 word function-driven vitamins where people can actually understand what they're getting? So I went with the 5 most important things that I felt were in my life, being energy, focus, stress relief, sleep, and immunity. especially, after everything that everyone's been going through with COVID. I thought immunity would be an incredible new way to add a little bit more protection to their life. Myself, I like to travel a lot. I fly a ton. And that's the one place where I get nervous, being on airplanes. And when I mean nervous, I mean from getting sick with other people. You're in close quarters. So when I go on flights, I slap, 2 or 3 immunity patches on. And I felt so much safer and a little bit more comfortable being able to travel that way. But to answer your question a little bit more fully, working with these manufacturers and these chemists and doctors on staff, we had to look at the molecular weight of every single ingredient that is put into every single patch. So the molecular weight, and there's a whole science base behind this. We can do a whole nother podcast on this. But the molecular weight can only go up to 400. Vitamins can be anywhere from 200 to 800. So when we were actually looking at the molecular weight of the vitamins that we put into our patches, we needed to make sure that it was at 400 or below. So if you actually look at some of the competitor brands that have now jumped on board, you look at some of their ingredients and they might claim an ingredient that's on there, but the molecular weight is too high to absorb through the human skin, and it actually doesn't work. So we actually went through every single ingredient across every single SKU to make sure the molecular weight works for the human body.
Wow, that's fascinating. And what a brilliant industry disruptor that you thought of here. I mean, this is revolutionary. I think it's fascinating. This is not your first business, right? You've launched other brands or wellness brands in the past. Is that correct? Could you tell me about those?
Absolutely. So I've been in the space now for about 6, 7 years. I've launched over a dozen different brands, all different categories. I've done some toys, I've done some apparel, some foods, some snacking, and wellness. And I fell in love with the wellness space. To me, the most important thing that I could try and do to add value to society is create a brand that helps people. Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to cure cancer. I know that. But if I can help somebody feel a little bit better every single morning, or be able to go to sleep a little bit better so their day tomorrow is a little bit more productive, I mean, I couldn't be happier with that, strategy and that mentality. So when I started building all these other brands, some of them were successful. We created an incredible snacking brand with some of the biggest YouTube stars. And I won't name them, for I don't know if I'm not allowed to say them or not on this. But we created this awesome jerky brand with some huge YouTube stars. And it was fun. It was super enjoyable, but it was super indulgent. Thousands of calories per packaging.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to a point where I was like, yes, it's amazing that we've created such an awesome product, but it's not benefiting people with their health, their mental health, or their well-being. And there's no shame in that. I'm really not shaming anybody that creates a product that doesn't align with what my goals and my mission is. But I decided that for me to be able to sleep every night and smile in the mornings, creating wellness brands was my passion for the future. And that was a switch that I had back in 2018. And every single brand after that has been wellness driven. But some of the biggest brands that I've worked on that I can talk about, Queen V, one of the most awesome vaginal wellness, vaginal positive brands out there. Their founder is amazing. She just relaunched with some of the biggest retailers in the world. You can check them out. Worked with a couple other really great vitamin brands at Walmart with some great companies from Zuru, Health by Habit, and Dose & Co., which is founded with Khloe Kardashian. So some really big brands, some really big names. I would say about 50% of the brands I've launched have been with some of the biggest celebrities you can think of. And then sometimes not, just creating a great, transparent brand that helps people without having a celebrity face.
You certainly are the brand architect, as we had that in your bio earlier on, and even more so, you're a marketing expert. I mean, the packaging on these things is beautiful. You've really hit the ground running as far as your social and TikTok strategy. Can you talk about, what the previous online journey was like before launching the patch brand and launching them on TikTok in particular? What was your previous experience like in social media and even video marketing, if you could get more specific with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And just to even go one step earlier, just to add a little bit of value to some of your listeners, when I think of a new brand or come up with a new brand idea, and it's all day, my brain is just going and going and going. But people come up to me all day and they go, how do you even start? Where do you begin? What's step number one? So for me, I like to look at it as a two-pronged approach. There are two different ways to create brands. The first way is to find an old category that is stale with no differentiation over the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And what I like to call it is shake up an old category and make it, for millennials and Gen Zs, and take that old category and redo it. You see some of the biggest brands in the world doing it right now. Even with, I just saw one this morning, Arch is a brand new brand that is doing teeth whitening strips, whole new marketing, whole new tactic, whole new amount of time to wear it. That's taking an old category that's been around for 30, 40 years, shaking it up, millennialifying it, and putting it out in the market. That's a great approach. Sometimes it works very, very well. The other approach is creating something completely different in a space that already exists. So what I mean by that is the patch brand is a perfect example of that. Vitamins have been around forever. That space exists. It is used a lot. People understand it. You don't have to teach the consumer what vitamins are. But if you can take it, twist it a little bit, find something new, and benefit the consumer by benefiting the way that they use it, the way they consume it, and the price points, then you have a whole new category and a whole new market that you can really approach. And if you can be a leader and a pioneer in that space, you can really change the game. And that's what we did. And we only did it 6 months ago. And we're already, getting to a crazy numbers, which we'll talk about shortly, about TikTok and all the different social media marketing platforms. So that was just to backtrack and add a little bit of value for some of your listeners about my approach to creating brands. But when it comes to marketing, what you just asked, and I apologize for going back before answering this, I have seen some of the craziest trends of all time come out of the past year to 2 years. When you talk about society and marketing and film and television, which is a space I was in before moving over to marketing, every 5 to 10 years, you would see some sort of shift. You see it in movies. Watch movies from the 80s to the 90s, 90s to 2000s, 2000s to 2010s. You see it really segmented in about 10-year chunks. And it's visible. You understand what's going on. You see trends move, editing styles change, coloring, fashion, dialogue. It changes. What I've noticed with some of the social media over the past 3 to 4 years, TikTok being the leader in this massive new upswing. But people have, and I believe this is due to COVID specifically. COVID, and you see this in the workplace, right? People used to wear suit and tie, they would get dressed up, they were really nice, and they would go to work. Now, there's no shame in wearing a nice t-shirt or just, wearing shorts. If you are still adding value to your company, people have started to ease off on what they view professionalism. And I think that is completely shown in social media. So you go to Instagram 4 years ago, everything had to be an incredible photo, perfectly edited, showing your shoes hanging off the helicopter to make people feel jealous because you needed to be the best of the best of the best. Now, TikTok, it's the complete opposite. Let me just see you. Let me just see who you are. Let's be authentic. Let's be true to ourselves. And let's just throw it up. Make a 15-second video. Don't, make it 100 times. Don't do it. Make it once. If you make a little mistake or you flub some words, no problem. Put it up there. Be authentic. Be true, because that's what we all are. And I think COVID allowed us to all see each other in a new light, that we all are the same in some capacity. We all have different backgrounds, different stories, different struggles, but we're all just people at the end of the day, and we all make mistakes. And I love what TikTok has done to that.
Yeah, I love that. And I 100% agree that one of the driving factors of how TikTok became so successful, aside from the engineered addictiveness of the platform, is the authenticity that anybody with a message can jump on there and communicate something. It doesn't need to be highly polished like Instagram, and you can reach potentially millions of people very fast. I think I'm going to already know the answer to this question, but, brand new organization, brand new account, started 6 months ago. You're at about 75,000 followers today when I had looked. That's phenomenal results. Did you expect it to grow this fast?
Yeah, so to be transparent with you, we launched the brand 6 months ago, but we only launched TikTok 4 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
to
So
go
even
to
faster. Brilliant.
75K in 4 months,
Brilliant.
there is a little method to the madness. And I do believe that, and I say this to a lot of my employees, and I go, life is a game. We do need to play the game. You can be true, you could be authentic, you could be respectful, you could be honest, but we still need to play the game. So there are a lot of tricks and tips that we could talk through about how that success got to where it is. But I truly believe that we just made an account where we had our 3 pillars. And our 3 pillars was to educate consumers about our product, show them how to use our product, and entertain. Those were our 3 pillars that we chose. Now, every company needs to choose their 3 pillars, or they can choose 5 or whatever. But what I decided with this brand was if we just stick to 3 authentic and honest pillars, it's going to hit somebody at some point, and someone's going to feel like they want to try it and that they feel involved and that they actually like this, or they feel similar to some of the stories that we put out on TikTok. You're right. Yeah, I actually do have a struggle sleeping, and I do have some problems with stress. Or yeah, when I wake up in the morning and I have coffee, I get a tummy ache, and I don't like it, and I don't like that. So we're just putting authentic, true stories. And what's really funny that I do is I have God bless the iPhone, but on notes, I just kind of type little things that happen to me throughout the day. So like I'll be like, man, at 3 o'clock, I keep getting into like a funk or like a slump. I get tired at 3 o'clock. There's no way I'm the only one. So we made videos about that and we talked about that and we were just honest.
That's so good. We have a very similar approach to how we structure content for our clients as well as me personally. I think that's such an important factor is, categorizing the types of videos and types of information that you can talk about, because it's going to give you a systematic approach to finding out, okay, the educational content performs better than the entertaining content or vice versa, or any combination of that. So I'm curious if you've noticed if one of your categories has been performing exceptionally better than the others, and if so, are you going all like doubling down on that category of content, or are you 33 33 33 across the board no matter what? What's your content creation process look like? What's worked best for you?
So it took about 3 months of just trying it all,
Yep.
posting everywhere, no rhyme or reason. But what I suggest to every founder or marketing person or professional is just look at the data. So we realized that our educational posts between the hours of 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. perform incredible. Entertainment style videos between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. hit really, really great. And then our show you how to use the videos between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. perform the best. Now, am I going to go to the grave with that? It might change in a few months and we'll keep testing and learning. But my suggestion to the listeners out there is just continually try things, disperse it everywhere, and then look at the analytics. It'll tell you the truth. And the best part about this is if you have the approach of, hey, let's just make good, authentic, quality style videos that I don't need to worry about polishing, to use your word, then it doesn't matter because they're going to be great videos. We just had actually, if you look at TikTok, you could see the videos of yours that are trending or getting, going viral.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's middle of March. Yesterday, our top 3 videos that gained over 1 million views yesterday alone were from middle of February, a month later. So my message to the listeners, just keep posting, keep trying. And if something doesn't hit in the first 30 minutes, then that's okay, because it might hit the next day, which is what TikTok, tells us. They say you need it to get to 500 views in the first 30 minutes for it to be viral. I don't know. I've had a ton of views that don't do that are crushing it right now.
Yeah, I have too. I love the shelf life of videos on TikTok, and an interesting experiment that I don't know if you know this, or anybody that's listening to this might be an interesting tidbit. But if you plan ahead of a tent pole, so like Black Friday, is a perfect example. If you create a video ahead of time, not on the day, because then you're already too late, right? Or even week of. But if you create a video, like I did this as an experiment last year, I created a video about the top places to find, or the most useful websites to find Black Friday online deals in 2021, right? And I did it strategically ahead of time and used Black Friday hashtags, Black Friday 2021, et cetera. And noticeably, the video did not do that well when I first posted it. But because it was so early, when that wave came, it picked that video back up and it went wild. So videos can absolutely get picked up at any point later. It just needs those signals to hit that, overflow of the bucket, if you will, to reach a vast majority more people. So I love the shelf life of them. I'm happy that you brought that up too, man.
And shout out to the listeners who, as you're going through your following page or your For You page and you see an account or a video that you like, I say click it, look at their feed and see when it was actually posted. Shout out to you and your Canva page that you're crushing them on. And whenever I get served your video in my following, because I obviously follow, I actually purposefully click it to then see when you posted it, because in my head, this just posted, right? Like I just got served it. Yep. And then I see it. I saw one, I think it was this morning or yesterday morning, days are blurring, but it said 18 hours ago. I'm like, that's a long time ago. But in my head, this was just posted. So if you find an account that you like and that you want to create your content similarly to theirs, I suggest just click all their videos and see how long it takes. It'll ease a lot of the stress that you have on posting content.
Definitely. Now, could you talk a little bit about your content creation process? So you have the pillars, you're writing ideas down that are relatable. What happens next? How are you actually creating that content?
So it took 4 months to get to this point. So I don't want to scare any listeners who are just like, holy cow, he's posting a ton and he has a lot of people working for him and all this stuff. You start with one, you start with yourself, then you bring someone else in, now you're at 2, then you bring someone else in, now you're at 3. So you can get to this point. Right now, we are posting 7 to 10 videos a day, strategically based around the timeframes that I gave earlier in this conversation, based on the pillars that we're making. And we are just posting every single day, no matter what. So what we do is I have somebody on staff who's incredible. She's my social media girl. And we sit down together Tuesdays and Fridays. We set aside 2 hours on both those days. She comes to me with a ton of ideas. And she's like, okay, Gil, here are 5 ideas really quick. And then I'll go make them. I draft them, change my shirt, go make another 5 or 10, draft them, change my shirt, do it again. She does the same thing. Now we've got 30 to 40 videos in draft mode right on our phone for this week. And that is Tuesdays and Fridays. And we try and do even more. I mean, if you can get to 10 to 12 a day, there's no harm in posting more. The complete opposite of Instagram. Complete opposite. The more you post on Instagram, people are like, oh, this guy's blowing up my feed. Enough. I get it. Complete opposite. Not everybody gets served the same stuff. Then I use a platform called Grin, which I don't know if you've used before, but they're a really good platform where GRIN, it costs some money, but it's a platform where you can link and partner with a bunch of different influencers of any size, of any category. You could type in keywords that connects with them. So I like to type in wellness or vitamins or beauty or fitness. Now, if you're into real estate or something like that, then you could type that in as well. And what we do is there's a couple different ways to connect with these influencers. There's this thing called in-kind, where you could provide them free product in exchange for a video. In-kind plus cash incentive. So you give them the free product plus some cash and they'll make a video. And what we do is we like to do a lot of in-kind. We love to give our product out to as many people. They create videos. And when somebody stands out, the success rate is 5 to 10%. But when somebody stands out as an incredible content creator, we reach out to them directly and we say, how can we put you on retainer? We want you to be one of the faces of our brand. So we've now gotten to about 5 people who are on retainer who create a video a day for us. Some of them batch content. They'll send like 30 videos at the top of the month, call it a day. Some of them post every morning for us. They just need to be organic, in the mood, and ready to go. So I would say that's been our more current journey when it comes to content creation. If you want me to get into the platforms we're posting on, that's a whole nother conversation, which you were the one who taught me about.
Yeah, that's fantastic and such a methodical approach. We can get into the cross-platform a little bit. Quick question for you. So you're doing a phenomenal job with organic, you're leveraging influencers, you're getting UGC. Are you also doing any sort of paid advertising, or has it mostly been organic content for growth?
I would say a majority of our stuff is organic content. We are trying some paid because I do think that there's value. And you can follow the metrics and see which videos have more value, which ones don't. But something that I've really fallen in love with recently is Spark ads. Not only is it just regular, there's regular paid ads that you can do. Basically, it's a sponsored ad. And actually something I wanted to speak with you about, I've noticed the sponsored button has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger over the last few months. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
People have noticed, but a year ago it was like you would do a sponsored ad and a regular consumer never saw it.
Huh.
Now it's almost tripled in size on the bottom.
Wow, I didn't notice that. That's fascinating.
And it's interesting. And I do believe that paid ad ROAS has decreased over the last 6 months, 100% correlated to the sponsored ad button.
Wow, interesting. Okay. I'll talk to you more after this because that's so where all are you posting your content? Let's talk about repurposing strategy, cross-platform pollination. Where are you posting all of these videos?
So our new best friend has become TickMate. SnapTick is another one, but TickMate has an incredible Google Chrome extension that just goes right on the TikTok.com website, and you can just press the button and it comes off. For those who don't know what this is, whenever you want to pull off a video off of TikTok, it automatically brings the watermark. Using TickMate or SnapTick removes that watermark, which just makes it seem a little bit more professional when you're placing on all the other different platforms that we'll talk about in a second. There's also some data that proves that removing that helps engagement as well. But I also think it's just more professional and classy and clean. So what we do every day, we pull off every single TikTok that we make. We take every single one daily, put it on Instagram, Facebook, so Reels. Then we go to Pinterest. Thank you to you. We've seen a ton of success on Pinterest. It has been huge. I couldn't agree with you more. If you guys are not on Pinterest, please, 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 please be on Pinterest. The next one is YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts has been really successful. Again, I do believe that the views are a lot smaller than what you get on TikTok, but every once in a while, a video will hit 100K, 200K, 300K on YouTube Short, and it's worth it. It's no extra work. It's 5 minutes to just pull a video and place it across. After YouTube Shorts, we then go to LinkedIn. We place it on our LinkedIn page. We have then posted it on Triller. And then recently, thanks to one of your posts, we have been trying Rizzle, which has been an interesting one.
Yeah.
I believe it's the new competitor to TikTok. I don't know if it'll even get close, but it looks just like it, and we've been trying it out.
How are you liking Rizzle? I'll give you my quick feedback. I've posted quite a few videos on there. It is growing. I think I have like 500 followers on Rizzle or something like that. I'm a little suspicious that it's just fake accounts. I mean, I'm curious to hear your thoughts though.
So I haven't done it live. We've only been doing it for a couple weeks now.
Okay.
I can't give you my opinion if it's fake or not. It very well could be. But my opinion is it's all an organic ecosystem when it comes to creating a brand. So, when you have your Google My Business and you have Google SEO, and then you're continually ranking your website so you can keep moving up. So when people type in, for example, the patch brand, we're the first thing that comes up. Now we have all these competitor brands paying for keywords of the patch brand just to compete against us, which is the biggest honor on the planet. I don't get upset by it. People are like, oh my God, the competition, I see them near your name. I'm like, what a gift. How amazing. They're paying to try and compete against me. So just be authentic, guys. Just be yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. If they're paying to try and compete with you, they're only educating more people about your space. So do not worry about it. But I hope Rizzle will add some value. I think that there's a chance, but if it's fake, you and I we'll circle back in 3 months and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I got to jump back into it because, even if a percentage of them are fake, I'm sure some of them are real. There's always power in large collections of people, like, going back to Pinterest, right? I'm doing like 2 million monthly views on Pinterest right now. And even though those idea pins are not directly clickable, don't underestimate the power of 2 million people seeing your face, seeing your brand, seeing your business, because that is going to have so many long-term dividends you absolutely can't fathom. So you've inspired me now. I'm going to get back active on Rizzle. We'll see how this goes. We'll tackle it together. Sorry, any Rizzle spokespeople that are listening to this podcast right now. So let's pivot over to the business side of things. Transparent question here. How much money have you made from TikTok since launching 4 months ago?
So I would say so the first month, whenever you launch a business, you pretty much make nothing. You're just getting your name out there, nothing happens. So we've been making money for about 4 to 5 months now. We've done over $500,000 in sales. And I would say about 75% of our sales has come through TikTok, whether it's organic or the little bit of paid or Spark ads we've been doing, but all through TikTok, I would say.
That is brilliant. Congratulations. Just mind-blowing revenue there. So huge. Congratulations,
Thank you.
And well-deserved from the hard work and effort that you're putting into it. Now, I'd love to hear about your funnel. How are you actually driving this traffic from TikTok to the website to buy? Or is it just link in your bio, thepatchbrand.com? Are you driving them to a specific landing page? Are you capturing leads and remarketing? Tell me, what does your funnel look like?
So this is super important. And for the listeners who have never really driven traffic from another platform to their D2C website, you need to try every single page that you offer. And I even mean the press page, the FAQs page, the home page, single product, variety packs, you name it, you have to try it all. And my answer might not align with what your answer is. For me and for our brand, we have noticed that when we drive to the variety pack offers a 10% discount and an additional 20% discount if you subscribe and save. We have noticed way more conversions when we go to the variety pack. And I do believe it's because we give the biggest discounts there. And people are willing to try and go, oh, I would try one of each, or, oh, I could subscribe and save for an additional 20% off. Let's see what happens. This might become a part of my routine. So for us, funneling to the variety pack has worked best.
That's fantastic. Are you doing any sort of remarketing for people, or has it just been a conversion dream?
Yeah, so we're doing both as well. So what we do is every single month we offer different discount codes that, apply to that month. So right now we have Spring Fling 20 as our discount code. We always offer, an additional 15% off for a first-time purchaser. Offering discount codes to consumers, I have found, is the best way to convert a first-time customer. Most of the time, if you want to convince somebody, hey, you should try my brand new product that you've never heard before, they need to feel a little incentivized and also feel a little special. I do too. I mean, I get it all the time. I see these incredible brands out there, whether it's clothing, whether it's products, whether it's a new bed, and I need a whole new mattress. If I'm going to try your product and start to, when I'm definitely a product person, so if I own your brand, I'm going to talk about it to my friends and be like, hey, I tried X brand. They're killer. You should give that a shot. So I want to feel incentivized and a little special too. So I always suggest to people to give a discount code. So when you're pricing your product from day one, make sure you account for that.
That's fantastic. Are you also are you doing any sort of email marketing? Are you capturing emails like in a pop-up or a free ebook or any sort of thing like that, and then doing drip campaigns or anything in addition?
Let's take a quick second here to talk about email and SMS. It has absolutely changed my life. So I know 75% comes from TikTok. I would say the other 25% comes from SMS and email marketing.
Amazing.
So for email marketing, we use a platform or a plugin called Klaviyo. It integrates right into Shopify, and it's been incredible. There's two ways to do email marketing and SMS marketing, but we're talking about email: campaigns and flows. Campaigns, something that you send off and you say, hey, we're doing a new discount code this month, check it out. Or hey, it's X holiday, here's something amazing. Or hey, we're launching a new product, check it out. Those have been so successful. Educating people about your brand, talking about it, giving them gifts, giving them discount codes. Hey, you're a VIP member of ours. Buy a variety pack, we'll send you a second one free to give to a friend. People want to feel special. Flows, on the other hand, super important, but less communicative. It is abandoned carts. Hey, your post-purchase, your pre-purchase. Hey, your shipping. Here's the tracking number. Super important as well, but it doesn't convert as well as campaigns. Then SMS, which we use attentive, has been, our return on spend, our ROAS for SMS is 17x.
Wow.
So
incredible.
People enjoy getting a quick text message, which if you would have asked me a year ago and you'd have been like, Gil, do you think people enjoy getting text messages? I would have been like, there's no way. Nobody wants text. I was proven wrong. People would rather get a quick text message and say, hey, we're giving 20% off right now. You should try this product, versus opening an email, feeling like they need to read it, going through the whole thing, finding where the code is, where it's just a little discount. It has worked so well for us.
That's fascinating, brother. This was so tactical, so good, so much valuable insight here. I feel like I should pay you for for your time here. What advice would you offer to a business owner that's listening to this? You've convinced them that TikTok is the way, but they just don't know where to begin. Where should they start?
So the first thing I would tell any business owner, if they believe in something and they want to try it, you have to go for it 1000%. You're going to get every naysayer. Your parents might tell you no, your friends, your colleagues, your peers, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, they might tell you no. But if you believe in it, you need to lean in 1000% and go for it. That's the first advice I would give to any business owner. When it comes to being a business owner, I believe that marketing in our modern day technology that we have, which is TikTok, is the number one driver to start to educate consumers in whatever space you choose to learn about your product or your service. You go back in the day, it was out of home, traditional, you had billboards, you had TV, you had magazines. Really hard to track that, very old school. We have created an incredible new way where this algorithm can pinpoint people of the same interest, and you can just talk about anything and be authentic and be real and show day-to-day life that people want to see through TikTok. And I believe it is the number one platform that every business, no matter what, you're a financial advisor, you're in real estate, you're a chiropractor, you're a doctor, you're a vitamin brand, you should be on TikTok and talk about it, be authentic, because there's somebody out there that is at home on their phone and wants to learn about your product. And this is the number one way to show them.
Couldn't have said it better myself, brother. Gil, this was awesome, man. How can people connect with you if they want to see what you're doing on social, on TikTok, or buy the Patch brand? Where would you like to send everybody?
Yeah, so our social across the board at the Patch brand. You can go on thepatchbrand.com or on Amazon, just type in the Patch brand. We are going to be in a couple major retailers in the upcoming months, which I can't share yet, but I can't wait to do a follow-up and tell you all about it so we can talk to everybody. And then recently, I've been posting on my personal TikTok as a founder, as a CEO, purely to educate people who want to be a founder and a CEO, to learn my process. And I talk about different platforms I've been using, educational tools, tips and tricks, and you can just go on @Brozki on TikTok, and I'm posting every single day, just showing you the ins and outs.
Fantastic, man. And I will have all of these links in the show notes and description of this episode. Gil, thank you so much again for joining me, man. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. I shout out to you. You have been such an integral part of our branding and helping us out. And your videos add so much value to us. You don't even know. I don't even tell you about it, but your videos add so much value. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
Oh, you're too kind, man. Thanks.